So my mom's friend, I use that lightly, loosely, because even she's like, you know, but of course the friend's not gonna like me, because I, you know, remember when I moved in here in 2012, I was paying the equivalent of rent, and I had a right to not, you know, I couldn't stand this woman, and my mom, all of the stupid stuff was in my closet, you know. My aunt, before she died, made a point of crying in the car and saying, why are you still friends with this woman, you know? Samantha, she's, you know, how do you think it makes me and makes us feel, makes me feel, makes your daughter feel that you put this woman's needs, you know, she treats you like crap, she put this woman's needs in front of ours, because we don't want to see this woman treat you that way, etc., but you know how it goes. She sees this woman different places, at church, at that place she hangs out, and, you know, it's hard, but you know, I can understand that. I'd be in the same situation. It's easy, you know, even for a therapist to say, well, if you don't like this person, why don't you just not talk to him? Yeah, it's easier said than done. You know, I can relate to my mom in regards to stuff like that. It's easier said than done, but in any case, I get to hear how, of course, the woman doesn't like me and is going to say stuff. She used to say when I was living here, you let your daughter tell you what to do. Yeah, you don't. My mom can't stick up to you, but she tells me that you make her nervous. You know, that's not really a friendship. She tells me that you upset her, and then she'll say things to my mom like, every time your daughter's around, you end up in the hospital. Yeah, that's so unfair. I don't know what's going on with my mom, but she went through so much, you know. It was a huge, huge, huge blow. Losing that sister, losing her, you know. I don't know. All I know is it all sucks, and now I'm up for a review. You knew that was coming, Laura. Yeah, I did. But you can hope, you know. And at least I slipped through the cracks just a little bit, because I should have already gotten the thing. So my mama and I saw Jupiter's hand here. Won't make a habit out of it. Nowadays we don't. Nobody poor makes a habit out of going and seeing movies in the movie theater. Even during the day, it's too damn expensive. And then if you throw in lunch in the food court, you know. It was nice though. It was enjoyable. It was a decent movie. I certainly don't regret going, you know. we survived. I said, Mom, well, you know, we did this. I'll be doing it again. I'll be doing it. I'm gonna go back to therapy. It might be a case of, you know, it being too little too late, you know, because it's not gonna look good that I wasn't in therapy all along. Here on Mars, because my mom is sleeping on the couch. I'm like, go do what she wants. Mom, go to bed. And she won't go to bed. She's sitting there, let her do what she wants. But now, probably wants to come in here. I don't know. Oh, you would be fine. Oh, my doing in the bathroom today. Just joking around. Mom was like he forgets. Though of course he does. Dogs don't hold a grudge. You know, like it wasn't for as long as I used to keep him in the bathroom. You know. He was crying because the door was closed and his water's still in the bathroom. I thought he was crying because he wanted to be with me. No. So I'll go see a therapist. I'll try to summarize everything that happened. It's too much. Again, even when I moved out, it was, you know what? It's still trauma. Ended with trauma. Ended with more trauma. When is the due date? Please be sure to use black ink or a number 2 pencil to print your answers. Remember that the report period is from October 2012 to present. I was going to ask you if you feel like you if you would describe your health. Remember, they're talking about mental and physical. I don't. My mental health is worse, I think. I don't know. Obviously, my physical health is better. My mental health is worse. Because I've gone through that much more shit. Especially this last thing with you know. I'm gonna put worse. I won't feel like I'm lying. Because remember, when they determined my disability, they were going back. I mean, I don't think even the latest when I wound up in the emergency was not even counted, I think, because I was already in the process. They were already determining my Social Security disability. So, and those latest happened like the last couple of weeks before I got my check, or that huge check I got. So those weren't even included in the medical that we sent in. I know they weren't, because remember, it takes months to process the thing. That's why it went back to March of '09, which was years before I applied. And then it can only go back a year, though, so I was determined to become disabled. I told my mom this the other night. I said, yeah, they determined I became disabled when you had your breakdown for the first time, and you had a real bad breakdown, and you hadn't gotten sick in over 10 years, and it happened 4 months after Don't do what he did to me. I lose my benefits, I lose my benefits, well, you know. Mom wants me to stay here. I don't know if I'll be able to. I can do online work. I can't do online, I mean, I can do online work to pay for my food, you know. I stay here, I don't really cost my mom much of anything, and I help out a lot. I cook her really nice, healthy meals, and I help clean, and I'm companionship. I watch out, I make sure, you know, different things. Remind her about appointments, when she has doctor's appointments and whatnot. Sometimes she forgets or writes down the wrong thing. I'm gonna put words. It is worse because my anxiety's through the roof. With all this fucking shit, you know. And being accused of elder abuse against my mom and all this fucking shit, and her and everything, and you know. It certainly isn't better, not by a long shot. It was hard, though, even when I was filling out the stuff originally or whatnot, but because it lumps together. It doesn't separate them. It doesn't say, how do you feel, is your it lumps them together, your health. I mean, in my casework in the shelter, I had to explain, they mean your physical and your mental health. Because at that time, remember, my back fucked up at the very end, and I didn't know it, but they were already in the process. Everything was turned in, so my back fucked up at the very end, and I wound up in the emergency a couple of times. And it wasn't long after that I got my check. So they didn't have those medical records for those 1, 2, 3 times, including here after I'd already gotten my money. You know what I mean? Because even when I was originally filling that out, I said to my caseworker, I tried to be honest, I'm like, they're asking about your overall health, Laura. Well, as usual, my back, nothing's happened to my back since 2008, you know what I mean? It's weird that was put as primary, huh? If I hadn't had problems in all those years, but remember, they determined my date of disability to go all the way back for like 4 years. It's just they can't pay you for that, but they make sure to tell you anyway. We determined you became disabled in March of 2009, but by law we can only go back 1 year from when you applied, so I got the 1 year plus it took 6 months, I guess, to go through the process. I'm assuming. I don't know. It included November. Oh, I guess because it included the month of November, that the big checks. It went June, July, August, September, November. It had to. I got 16.7. I don't know. All that I know is even then, I said to my caseworker, I'm like, I just never imagined that my primary diagnosis was back problems. It wasn't psych, and I thought it would be because, again, I hadn't had back problems since 2008. You know what I mean? Whereas obviously, at the time, remember, they approve you too. She said if they look at just the fact you're in a shelter, And remember, other shit had happened. 2008 thing with Donald, and then 2012 with him strangling me in front of his mom, briefly, choking me, whatever, and me and Norma being on the streets for a week, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When does it say it has to be turned in? When did I move him from? I was hospitalized. They ask you, has your doctor told you you can't work? No. Has your doctor said you can work? No. I haven't discussed it, so, you tell the truth. So, we consider the information you give us to be with everybody. They let you write something in an X, like remarks. I'll just say, I've suffered psychological trauma and I don't want to keep them since. Mm-hmm.